The results of Georgia's second recount are unexpectedly delayed this morning, but they're not expected to affect the outcome. State officials have already certified that President-elect Joe Biden beat President Trump in Georgia by more than 10,000 votes. The president asked for the new recount as state law allows. Other Republicans are concerned that misinformation spread by Mr. Trump will hurt his party in upcoming elections. Mark Strassmann is in Atlanta with more on this story. Mark, good morning to you. What's at stake here?
A lot at stake, Gail. For starters, 2 runoff elections here next month. At stake is potentially control of the U.S. Senate. And those Republicans that are worried, you mentioned, they say that the president's ongoing fight and the language that he's using, some of that potentially could hurt voter turnout here and also potentially threatens the safety of election workers.
Our investigators have seen no widespread fraud.
Georgia's Republican Secretary of State Brad Raffensberger's message to President Trump, it's over.
And it looks like Vice President Biden will be carrying Georgia, and he is our president-elect.
But the president won't accept reality. Instead, he's attacked Republican officials in the state who refused to change the results in his favor.
The Secretary of State, who is really he's an enemy of the people.
Some of the president's supporters have made death threats against Raffensberger and voting system implementation manager Gabriel Sterling, who blamed the president for inflammatory rhetoric.
Someone's going to get hurt, someone's going to get shot, someone's going to get killed.
Any evidence whatsoever of widespread fraud?
Oh, God, no.
Nothing.
Nothing.
We spoke to Sterling, whose family now has police protection, about the threats facing him and other election employees, including a tech worker in his 20s.
They tracked his family and started harassing his family. There was a tweet where somebody put a swinging noose and said, you know, you've committed treason, may God have mercy on your soul. And at that point, I was pretty much irate. I was done.
If you could get the president's attention today, what would you tell him?
Mr. President, you lost this state.
Next month, Georgia will hold 2 crucial Senate runoff elections. Republicans Kelly Loeffler and David Perdue are trying to hold on to their seats that will decide whether Republicans keep control of the Senate. Democrats are hoping voter registration efforts will help John Ossoff and Reverend Raphael Warnock win enough votes to swing the state. That, as many Republicans here, worry about the political fallout from the president and his allies telling voters the system is rigged.
They have not earned your vote. Don't you give it to them. Why would you go back and vote in another rigged election, for God's sakes?
And I believe they'll suppress turnout on one side, mainly the Republican one, because they're being told your votes don't count. They're not real.
The president insisting there's been a fraud here potentially could cost Georgia its 2 Republican seats.
And cost Republicans control of the United States Senate.
On Saturday, President Trump will come here to hold a runoff rally for Senators Loeffler and Perdue. And depending what he says, some Republicans here are worried it could do more harm than good. Tony?
Mark, thank you very much. It's hard to comprehend some of this stuff. I mean, both the lack of a presidential address to the coronavirus deaths and then also Republicans continuing to fight this voter fraud thing in the courts despite losses upon losses.
Kudos to Mr. Sterling for speaking out.
Yeah.
He said I was a Republican and I had supported President Trump.
Yeah. All right.
The Republican infrastructure there, as all said, this state went to Joe Biden.
If the Senate would speak up the way that they're doing on the local level.
It's almost beyond words.